Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling something absolutely huge, something pretty much everyone thinks about, how to stop wasting money and start building real wealth faster. But listen, we aren't just gonna sit here and talk theory today. Nope, think of this as a hands-on practical workshop. By the time we're done here, you are going to have a complete step-by-step setup plan to implement what's known as the 50-30-20 budget rule. We're also going to cover the exact traps and common mistakes that basically all beginners fall into so you can avoid them completely. If you are sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck and you wanna finally get ahead, well, you're in the exact right place. So let's dive right in. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the paycheck to paycheck trap. Seriously, do you ever look at your bank account and wonder where your money actually disappears to every month? Before we get into the mechanics of our workshop, we really have to address this core problem so many of us face. It's that heavy, frustrating feeling of being financially stuck, even though you get up and work hard every single day. You know, you earn a decent income, you put in the hours, and yet you check your balance and just get that familiar knot in your stomach. The funds just seem to vanish into thin air. Well, here's a surprising fact to wake us up. It's not just folks on minimum wage dealing with this. Studies consistently show that a staggering number of high earners, people making well over 6 figures, are also living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because of a sneaky little thing called lifestyle creep, where your spending just naturally inflates to match your rising income. See, the problem ultimately comes down to your income versus your budget. And this brings us right to the very first common mistake we need to highlight for this workshop, the deeply held misconception that simply earning more money automatically fixes bad money management. Spoiler alert, it totally doesn't. A hard truth from our sources is that the problem might not actually be your income at all. A higher income without a solid budget in place, that just leads to more expensive problems. You buy a bigger house, you lease a nicer car, and suddenly that exciting raise has completely vanished. The root issue isn't necessarily how much money is coming in, it's exactly how that money is being categorized, directed, and managed once it hits your checking account.
Which brings us to section 2, the 50-30-20 budget rule.
Take a look at this. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and investments. This overarching solution to escaping that stressful paycheck-to-paycheck trap is just a beautifully simple 3-part framework. It honestly represents one of the easiest, most proven ways to ever manage your money. Interestingly enough, this rule was popularized by Senator Elizabeth Warren in a personal finance book she co-authored with her daughter, way before her political career really took center stage. It was originally aimed at middle-class families dealing with rising fixed costs. And it's so powerful precisely because it isn't overly complicated. It divides everything you earn into 3 straightforward categories, giving you a crystal clear map for every single dollar you make. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Section 3, breaking down those percentages. Okay, so the foundational 50% of your income goes strictly to your needs. These are your absolute essential expenses. We're talking about keeping a roof over your head with rent, feeding yourself with basic groceries, keeping the lights on with your utility bills, plus your insurance and your transportation. Exactly half of your income makes up this survival foundation. Now, for our workshop setup plan, how do you actually define a need? Ask yourself, if I lost my job tomorrow, what bills would I absolutely still have to pay just to survive? That is a need. And here's common mistake number 2. Convincing yourself that high-speed fiber optic internet for gaming or those premium organic groceries from the artisanal market are biological needs. Yeah, they're not. They're wants. You've got to keep this bucket strictly to the bare necessities.
Moving right along to the lifestyle category. A full 30% of your income is dedicated to your wants. Now, taking control of your finances definitely doesn't mean you can't have fun, and the psychology behind this bucket is precisely why this framework works so well in the long run. Think about it kind of like a strict diet. If you cut out every single carb and grain of sugar completely, you are eventually going to crack and binge, right? A diet fails without a little flexibility, and a budget fails if it deprives you of all joy. Knowing you have 30% for guilt-free spending actually prevents budget burnout. This is for your entertainment, dining out, grabbing that daily coffee, your streaming subscriptions, and taking time for your hobbies or vacations. You have explicit permission to enjoy this 30% without an ounce of guilt. And finally, the absolute most critical part for your future, the last 20%. This 20% goes strictly to savings and investments. This means putting money away into savings, investing in the markets to watch compound interest do its magic over time, building a safety net with an emergency fund, or actively crushing toxic debt. This 20% is how you actually capture and build your wealth. Here is a major step-by-step workshop tip for you. Pay yourself first. Common mistakes number 3 is treating the savings bucket as whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month. We all know how that story ends, right? There's rarely anything left over. To succeed, you want to automate this 20% transfer, the exact moment your paycheck hits your account. Move it out of sight and out of mind before you even have a chance to spend it.
All right, section 4, let's see the rule in action. We're going to build out a concrete mathematical example around a specific number, $4,000. Imagine, just for the sake of this workshop, that you earn a hypothetical monthly income of exactly $4,000. But wait, here is a crucial practical detail and common mistake number 4. You must base this number on your after-tax income, your net pay. Please do not use your gross salary. Trying to budget your gross income before taxes, healthcare, and retirement contributions are taken out will literally leave you mathematically short every single month. Always calculate your 50-30-20 based on the actual cash that lands in your checking account.
Let's see how the math perfectly falls into place here. We take that $4,000 monthly net income and we apply the rule step by step. First, the 50% for your needs, that equals exactly $2,000. Next, the 30% for your wants, that comes out to $1,200. And finally, the 20% for your savings and investments leaves us with $800. $2,000, $1,200, and $800. It's a clean, highly manageable way to process your income. In fact, since this is our workshop's practical math portion, I highly encourage you to pause this explainer right now. Pull up your own last 2 pay stubs, find your average monthly take-home pay, and quickly calculate your own baseline numbers for these 3 categories.
Because consistency equals control of your money. Following this exact framework consistently, month after month, is the true secret to gaining absolute control over your finances. To get you there, here's your clear step-by-step setup plan. Step 1, track your spending for 1 normal month without changing anything at all, just to see where your money is actually going. Step 2, categorize those expenses into the 3 buckets of needs, wants, and savings.
Step 3, systematically tweak your habits to align with the 50-30-20 targets. Oh, and beware of common mistake number 5, giving up entirely if 1 month is slightly off target. If your car breaks down and your needs hit 60% 1 month, don't panic and abandon the whole system. Just adjust the next month. It's about building the long-term habit, not absolute perfection every single day.
Save more, invest more, grow wealth. That's the ultimate goal. By managing your money with this simple, proven budgeting strategy, you are setting yourself up to stop wasting cash and secure your financial freedom. So as we wrap up this workshop explainer, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take a hard look at your bank account today. Are your numbers controlling you, or are you controlling your numbers? What is the single biggest want disguised as a need that you can cut tomorrow to get closer to your 20% savings goal? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you found it as fascinating and useful as I did.